Hi, folks. So thanks for joining the M Group today as we welcome on an awesome guest, Rachel Downing of Revive Design Solutions. As always, Sarah and I are constantly looking for ways to benefit our present, past, and future clients. And no doubt this relationship with Rachel will do just that. So we're super excited to dive in with Rachel today and learn more about what her company does for current and prospective homeowners. Excuse me. So, Rachel, your story is quite interesting and one that many of our clients can probably relate to. You worked in corporate America for over 20 years, but your passion was always home renovation and design.
hmm
Can you tell us a little bit about why you made that transition away and what your company does for your clients?
Absolutely. Well, thank you guys for having me before I get into that. But yeah, so about 2 years ago, I left my corporate career, and really the precipitate event was COVID. So, like so many people, it really changed priorities, it changed a lot of things. And in my family, it created a need and kind of an opportunity for me to close the first chapter of my career, which, as you mentioned, was really in corporate America. I worked for a number of large organizations in the Baltimore area mostly, and really functioned kind of as an internal consultant and worked with a lot of leaders and teams and organizations within those companies. But COVID came, I needed to kind of reprioritize and create more capacity for my school age kids. And so I left that chapter behind. And but it didn't take long for me to really miss that consultative process of working with people and diagnosing and solving problems and the challenges that come with that and the rewards that come with that. So within a year, I was thinking about how I wanted to bring my experience back to the working world. And it was really clear that it was time for me to kind of do what I always knew I wanted to do, which was really to weave in this passion I have, and really quite a bit of experience I have with home renovation and design. So I kind of put all that together and came up with the concept of Revive Design Solutions, where it's really kind of bringing all of that experience and all those capabilities from my personal life and my professional experience to really help clients in their homes.
Great. That sounds fantastic. So let's jump in and talk about the nuts and bolts.
So when I think about my approach, it's again so much rooted in my business experience, where you're always trying to optimize, you're trying to make the most of everything you have. But really, I was always doing that for myself in my own home as I thought about how I wanted to improve my home and my space. It was always about making the most of what I have available to me in terms of the space, both functionally and aesthetically. So how do I use the space in a way that supports my lifestyle and my needs in my home? And how do I finish it aesthetically so that it makes me happy and it feels good and it reflects my style and it incorporates the things that I have in my life that I love. So kind of optimizing that functional and aesthetic, those functional aesthetic elements of space, and then maximizing resources. That I think is one of my superpowers. And I almost approach it like sport. I want to take everything we have available to us and make the most of it so we can get as close to, the optimal outcome as possible. And that's really where the creative problem solving comes in, and a lot of experience of how to get a result without having to put in a ton of money. Sometimes you do, and sometimes it's worth it. But if you can get there in a way where you're savvy about it, that's really one of my favorite things to do. And that's a lot about I bring a lot of that to my clients. And so along the way too, I really try to give people information and insights that they can then take with them to the next project. And that includes everything from being able to sort of defining your own style. So I think we get really overwhelmed with all the different styles and options and images that are out there, and figuring out what you actually relate to and what's relevant for you. I find helps clients make good decisions about their space, and they can kind of then take that moving forward and continue that without being maybe as overwhelmed as they were before I helped them sort of define what their preferences really are. And so in the end, it's you save time, you save money, you avoid expensive mistakes. That's really what I'm about. I want you to benefit from my experience and my insights, and my ability to listen and diagnose and then help really solve the problem for you.
And we talked about too, Rachel, I mean, this is a great tool, not only for people that are currently in their homes and they're just sick of looking at the same kitchen or something like that, but
right.
for people that, for Sarah and I, when we're bringing clients out and showing them places and, it's just like a wonky layout, or maybe they need more closet space, that's why they don't like the house or something along those lines. I mean, it's great for prospective home buyers too. And you work with them as well to kind of, hey, let's go see this house and let me give you some tips and advice. And this is how you can, maximize this space if you were to buy it. Exactly.
I think we're always kind of, I know for me, my personal experience and my clients, I've never worked with someone who's building from the ground up. So my experience is more about retrofitting your space to do what you want it to do and make it look and feel the way you want it to look and feel. And so I feel like that is really relevant for home buyers, because that's the whole process. You're trying to take your lifestyle and your needs and your wants, and you're trying to find the home or the space that gets as close to that as possible. And then what I do is I kind of take that to the next level of actually really showing people and helping them experience what those possibilities could be, even beyond what is physically, what physically exists right now. So I love that process, and I love helping people kind of experience what could be in a space.
Yeah. Well, that's great. So you have some before and after.
I do. I have two examples I was hoping to share with you guys. So the first, this is actually my kitchen before the home, in my previous house. And the picture in the upper left that's the picture from the listing. So you can see what we walked into. And we knew that there was opportunity here, and there was opportunity to take that space and turn it into a space that supported the experience that we wanted to have in our home. Kitchens are really important. I love working on kitchens because it's really where form and function come together, I think, the most. And there's so many possibilities. There's so much you can do. And really helping clients decide where to put their money and where to invest in a kitchen renovation, I find that to be really helpful for people. So in this example, in our kitchen, we took down a wall. There was a non-load bearing wall between, you can see the big yellow wall. And we took that down. And as you can see, it really changed the space, made it so much lighter and brighter, and created that connectivity and that flow that we wanted. And then obviously we changed fixtures and cabinets and flooring. So we did quite a bit to really bring that space to life. The other thing that we did, and this is kind of speaks to my whole space optimization obsession, if you will, is so we did a lot of construction, but in terms of moving some key elements to unlock more space, we did two things. Again, if you look in the upper left, we moved that door over about 18 inches. And we moved that way. We reconfigured that window. It was still in the same place, but we made it we made it smaller so that we could use that whole wall for storage, and we could move the sink there so it could overlook the backyard. So that was a big game changer in this kitchen. And just another example of where I like to look for those opportunities to make some relatively small structural changes that can really result in big rewards and return.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, you took a completely dead, useless space and made it completely, you just totally transformed it. The sink is over there now under the window. I mean, that was just a pointless wall. You know, I mean, I'm obviously load bearing, so it does serve some sort of purpose.
Sure.
But you know, you're really maximizing the space there. It's really impressive.
Maximizing the space and maximizing the value of that kitchen too. You know, that probably bumped that home value up so much.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt.
So yes, thank you guys. I think we got everything that we could out of that kitchen. No doubt. So to your point about helping people now in their homes, I wanted to show you guys an example, some more befores. This was a client that I worked with a few months ago who had a really awkward primary suite. I'm still getting used to saying that. I know that's the newer terminology. So
old habits die hard.
No, it's okay. So we wanted to look at how to just use the space that she had and reorient some things so that they could get that primary bath experience that wasn't all chopped up and awkward, as you can see. And so what I did for this client was I took the footprint of their primary suite, which included a big closet and that sort of choppy bath and vanity area. And I gave them two options and really listened to what their priorities were. So she really wanted to have a place to do her makeup in the bathroom area. So just listening to what they were trying to optimize and what features were really important to them, I gave them two different layouts that you can see here. One with kind of a large closet on option one, and the one option two, there was an opportunity for maybe a his and her closet and a little bit of a different layout and vibe in the bathroom. So I presented these two options, and with these, I also presented 3D renderings of both of the options. And I'm just showing you the 3D renderings of option one. And so between the floor plan and these 3D renderings, I really try to give clients, when I say experience the possibilities, I really want them to be able to see what it would look like if they went with different layouts. And in this case, with this client, they wanted all that upfront guidance from me and help making those decisions about those priorities and trade-offs. But once they had the design and once I helped the contractor understand what we were doing, they ran with it. And I gave her some guidance on the finishes and where to source things and how to put things together. She had a big appetite to do that part of it herself. Again, she did some guidance, but they took all of that, and then this was their finished product. So what they did was actually they decided to not have that vanity, not have the makeup vanity. Instead, they prioritized a bigger shower and a bigger tub. But it was really that, I think, which the feedback she gave me was that doing the planning and having those renderings and the drawings up front really helped them understand what the gives and takes were of some of these decisions. And so they were able to make a change to the design with a lot of confidence, and they got to an end result that really worked for them functionally and made the most of their biggest priorities And then with the finishes, I think everything came really together, really well, really together with some of the guidance that I was able to provide them. So I think it's a great example, especially for, like you said, a prospective homeowner or home buyer who is just trying to understand how to make something work better for them.
Yeah, for sure. It takes the guesswork out of it. I mean, I'm a visual person, so it's hard to imagine a space, but having you have the drawings and the renderings, and that really just helps to take the guesswork almost completely out of it. Use less of your imagination. So because you have the pictures there to help you, it's really beneficial.
Mm-hmm. And not only buyers too, but sellers as well, right? If you're going to sell your house and you've got a weird layout, maybe you don't do the whole renovation, but you've helped clients at least with creating the 2D and the 3D models that they can put in their listing to show prospective home buyers that, hey, this is an idea that we know this space is weird. We're not going to fix it as the sellers, but you might get inspired by looking at these models and want to buy it and do this yourself.
For sure. And I think you're exactly right. I've done that with sort of an awkward kitchen layout in particular. I remember where it was an older home. And so, again, the way we use our space has evolved so much since even before COVID, it really has changed very dramatically and pretty rapidly. This was an older home. It was probably built in the, maybe 1940s or so. And so the way the kitchen, the space that was allocated to the kitchen and utility space, it just didn't line up with how we live in our homes today, especially for families. And so having been through that life stage, still in it, I can kind of bring that understanding and what those needs are to sellers to help them show buyers how they can, create a different experience in the space. And like you said, just turn it into a visual representation that people can really get excited about. And imagine what's possible. And I think if people are willing to take on the project, there's equity there. And that's really how my husband and I kind of got to our dream house, which is where I am now, is creating that equity out of the opportunities to make spaces more valuable. But it's not just value to the market, it's value to you. So it's there's a lot of upside to doing it.
Yeah. So as far as, going forward, if our clients or just anyone wants to contact you or wants to, if they want to move forward, just maybe even kind of having you come over and take a look at, like, what does that look like? Hiring you or contacting you or?
Yeah. So, well, here, I'll share contact information. So, the best way to get a hold of me right now is just an email, Rachel@revivedesignsolutions.com. I'd love to hear what people's needs are, what projects they're considering, how they think I may be able to help them come up with the right plan and how much help from me they need. So like I said, I have some clients who really just needed that guidance and the planning. And then they kind of went and implemented it. I've had other clients who used me up front and then went and kind of oversaw the production, the construction. And then I came back in at the end for finishes. So it's very client centric. I just, people can just reach out to me and talk about what it is that they're tackling, and we can figure out how I can add value to them in the process. So I'm happy to accompany a buyer on some trips to see, some prospective homes, or just do a walkthrough in people's homes and start to come up with a scope of, what sounds like it would have the most impact if you did this. And I've helped people do that, where they sort of almost create a multi-phase plan. And then we dive in on phase one or whatever. So it can be really incremental. I want people to feel like they can access me for something that's, like you said, kind of just a walkthrough and something, a shorter engagement. And certainly I'm available to do much longer and kind of end-to-end engagements as well.
Right, that sounds perfect. Totally customizable, whatever the client needs, right?
Yeah.
Sounds great. Well, Rachel, I think this has been really informative, and we're really looking forward, Steve and myself, to joining forces with you in the future and sharing with our clients and our contact base, how you can help them make their homes better, make their homes the way they want them to be, ease the buying and the selling process, if you will. So, in the future, I think we can look forward to a lot more from Rachel, a lot more expertise and wisdom. But for now, we want to thank you for joining us today. We really appreciate it.
Thanks, guys. It's been a lot of fun, and hope to looking forward to working with you guys more, and hoping I can help your clients.
Yeah, if you're thinking about a home renovation, contact Rachel first and get it right the first time. Get all your information, all your ducks in a row.
Yeah.
So that's all we have today from the M Group. This is Sarah McNellis with Steve Manning, and thanks for watching. See you next time.